Okay, so sorry for 1 minute break. Um, so So what we are talking that the most important component for in terms of difference between traditional RDBMS versus MapReduce is the accessing power. That how we are going to access the data, in which mode. So in traditional RDBMS, as we all know, it's an interactive mode and the batch mode. Both are supported. But in Hadoop world, the most important thing that the accessing is to be always happen is a batch processing. It's completely a batch processing mode. So we will come in details with all the components in Hadoop, like whether we're working in Hive, whether we are working in Pig, or we are working in MapReduce. All the data processing is to be happen. That's called batch processing. It's not like in interactive or dynamically where we are accessing the data, but it's all that comes out in the batch processing mode. So let's talk about a brief history of Hadoop. So since the name the Hadoop is not, it's an acronym, it's a made-up name. So who exactly termed this term, who exactly coined this term first, and who was the creator of this project, how the this big data and the Hadoop world came to the industry. So first of all, Mr. Dong Cutting, who was a software engineer at Yahoo, he first explained that it was named after his kid's stuffed yellow elephant toy. So in December 2004, first Google GFS paper was published, the first Google file system paper. And in July 2005, there is a company called Nutch who uses first MapReduce. In February 2006, it becomes the Lucent sub-project, the Hadoop, and it was called as Hadoop because 2006 was a year that was the Hadoop born year. I mean, that's their birth year. Basically, Yahoo was the major pioneer in Hadoop industry. So on April 2007, Yahoo first launched their 1,000-node cluster for Hadoop, and on 2008, it became an Apache top-level project. On February 2008, Yahoo first announced 10,000 core Hadoop cluster for search index. So that's one of the major revolution in big data industry. After 2 months, it broke all the world record for fastest system to sort a terabyte of data. It was able to run 910 node cluster. Hadoop sorted 1 TB in 209 seconds, so just under 3.5 minutes. So it was a record. And next, after 1 year, in May 2009, there was an experiment that 1 TB data that was sorted in 62 seconds on the Hadoop platform. So it was a revolution on there. So it's quite about a history of Hadoop. So the first person who coined the term, that was Mr. Dong Cutton. He right now works for Cloudera, and so he put the term the Hadoop, and Yahoo was one of the major pioneers of our Hadoop project. Now let's say that who uses Hadoop, and what are the companies that who are working right now in Hadoop, and how the this revolution is going on, how the research has been put on, and how enterprise systems and our industry has came up and putting out the term Hadoop. So few users of Hadoop like Yahoo, they have already worked on majorly 1 million CPUs for more than 36,000 computers. Facebook is also one of the major organization who are using majorly on Hadoop. They are using 1,100 machine clusters with 8,800 cores and about 12 PB of storage, and 300 machine clusters with 2,400 cores, and that's also about 3 PB raw storage. Then Facebook is also one of the pioneers. Let me tell you guys, they also invented Hive, the Hive query language as well. We will talk about details in the class. We will work with Hive classes. Now LinkedIn, Twitter, eBay, IBM, and IIIT Hyderabad, they are also working with 10 to 30 nodes, quad 6600s, and with 4 GB RAM, 1 TB hard disk machines. Then another technology Institute, PSG Tech in Coimbatore. They are also working with 5 to 10 nodes. The cluster nodes, it varies from 2950 quad-core rack server. So this is the configuration that they're working. Other major industry initiatives like from Rackspace, Google, Adobe, New York Times, and also right now Microsoft also came up with Hadoop solution with Edged Insight. So now it's the most important and interesting topic, that's to talk about Hadoop ecosystem. So it majorly explains the slide about Hadoop architecture and the components, what are the major components in Hadoop, and which defines the Hadoop ecosystem. So first of all, Hadoop common, I mean, it defines that what are the common components are there in Hadoop platform, the common utilities that support the Hadoop subprojects, because Hadoop is an Apache software framework, and that's all the components. These are the subprojects which are also maintained by Apache, and this has been termed as the major components of Hadoop. So one of the first is the HDFS, that is termed as Hadoop Distributed File System. So it is a distributed file system that provides a high throughput access to the application data. It's basically it's a file system, just like we all know about file system. Like HDFS is a file systems in Hadoop. It's basically for high throughput access to applications data, to the Hadoop storage data. So we will talk about in details as well in class as well as in today as well, how this term has been came up and what is the functionality of HDFS as well. Another most important component is MapReduce. MapReduce is a software framework which is also maintained by Apache for distributed processing over large data sets on compute clusters. So other Hadoop related projects like Apache, like Avro. Avro is a data serialization system. It's basically used for serialization functionality. Cassandra is a NoSQL database. It's a scalable multi-master database with no single point of a failure. It's highly scalable, distributed, and reliable database, but it's NoSQL. Chukwa is a data collection system for managing over large distributed systems. HBase is also a NoSQL database of Hadoop. It's a scalable distributed database that supports a structured data storage over the large tables. Hive, that yes, I talked about a few times earlier as well. Hive is a data warehouse infrastructure that provides a data summarization and ad hoc querying. So Hive, as at the beginning, you could term as it's a SQL interface on Hadoop. So as we are RDBMS developer, we are familiar with SQL. We are familiar with SQL queries and SQL processing. So Hive also provides an interface over Hadoop platform. So Hive has itself their own SQL engine, that's HiveQL. We call it as HQL, Hive Query Language. Next is Mahout. Mahout is a scalable machine learning library, and it's a data mining library. As we all know, that's today another big topic is data science and machine learning. So Mahout is a pioneer on data science, I mean in machine learning libraries and in data mining functionality on Hadoop platform. Pig is a high-level data flow language and execution framework for parallel computation. It's a scripting language over Hadoop platform, and we call it as Pig Latin. So we will talk about more on these classes. Zookeeper is a high-performance coordination service for distributed application. So any sorts of the platforms or nodes when we are running, we have to first work with Zookeeper and we have to configure it. So we will also talk about details when we will be in class. So let's move about a brief on HDFS. So HDFS is a distributed storage system. It's a Hadoop distributed file system. It's a functionality-wise. Here, basically, files are divided into large blocks, and they have distributed across the cluster. So while we know the blocks which have been replicated to handle the hardware failure. So in HDFS, it's a storage for Hadoop, and where the stored files, they have been divided into the blocks. and they have to be distributed across the different clusters. And the blocks, now HDFS is comprised of several blocks which have been replicated to handle the hardware failures, system failures, because as we know they are highly reliable. So there is no single point of failure in HDFS. Data placement that has been exposed so that computes can be migrated to data. Now, let's move about a brief about architecture and HDFS. HDFS completely works on master-slave architecture. So not about HDFS, even MapReduce as well. They are all dependent on a master node and a slave node architecture mode. So Hadoop master, Hadoop has also two different nodes. The master node, which is called the name node, and the slave node, which is called the data node. So master node is responsible for managing all the files for the assignment of task to the slave node. So name node is responsible for managing all the file system metadata. Where exactly the transactions are kept logged, they have been merged at startup. They're responsible for controlling the read-write access to files. They are responsible for managing the block replications, for assignment of tasks to data nodes. The slave node is called the data nodes, which notifies a name node about the block IDs that they have. It serves for the read-write request from the clients. They are exactly responsible for performing the replication task that as instructed by name node. So all this have to be that's going to be a master-slave architecture mode. So master assigns a task to slave or worker node, and the slave node, the data node, which is responsible for performing those tasks. So that's a brief about HDFS. We will talk more while we are in class. So it's an architecture view of HDFS. So as we talk about the name node, so name node is comprised of name, blocks, and replicas. So just like we have a file. Hello.
Hey Anindita, hi, Satish here. Actually, your screen is, sometimes your screen is not clear. Maybe the PPT or something, it's cutting something, Anindita. The borders of the PPT is not showing clearly. I think Sam also having some questions. Sam, you there?
Yeah, same problem.
Yeah. Let me check with Anindita.
Okay. Okay.
The borders of the.
So shall I share again?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me do one thing. Actually, the problem with your screen, or I don't know. 1 second. Let me check. It is Zoom. Okay. No. 1 second. Let me check.
Sure.
Still the same. Can you do one thing, Anindita? In your screen, top of the GoToWebinar viewer, you can find a webcams and a Zoom. Can you check it out?
In options?
No need to go option. In your screen itself, in our HDFS architecture is there, na? Top of the site, top of the GoToMeeting webinar. Left side of the.
On the left corner,
Left corner. Can you check the Zoom? Yeah, Zoom.
Here I am getting. Okay. Top left.
She has to zoom down now. I think she did 100% or something. Can you make it 50% or 75?
I think it is 75. I think so.
Or she can do a full screen mode, right?
No.
The PPT is in full screen right now. in my screen.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Let me check. Let's go ahead, Anindita. I think we can go ahead for now. Yeah, let's go ahead.
So is it visible to all of the audiences?
Yeah, but border of this PPT is cutting off, Anindita. That's the main issue. Middle of the PPT is fine, like up to this, like data node and everything is fine. But below that is we are not seeing that below the part, data node part.
The bottom portion and the right side portion, little bit is cutting off.
Yeah.
Okay. So shall I share my screen once again, or should I continue?
1 second. Let me do one thing. Let me make presenter again. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, you can click on the show your screen now. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see, but it is showing the same. Please go ahead, Anindita. We'll do that. We can check again. Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So we have left off in HDFS architecture discussion. So HDFS, as we talk about, the major nodes, that's one is master node, that's the name node, which comprised of name, blocks, and replicas. Name is obviously the file names, blocks, the file blocks, and the replicas. So name node, as we know, it's responsible for assigning jobs to data nodes and mapping up handling the files to the clients. And then it's sending the instructions to the racks sent out in different clients. So data node is responsible for executions of the jobs as instructed by name nodes, and whereas name node is also responsible for managing the metadata operations as instructed from client and all the major I/O operations. So one of the main thing that's to note about HDFS, that all sorts of I/O operations to be performed in Hadoop, that's to be executed in HDFS. So it's one of the major architecture because we are storing the direct data as a file systems in a Hadoop. So it's a responsible component in Hadoop. So we will talk about a detail on this architecture while we'll be in class. Next is another major component to discuss, that's the MapReduce. So as a MapReduce, as we mentioned, that it's a open source Apache software framework solution, which is basically for performing the operations, batch mode operations on performing the task. So the task in MapReduce that has been divided into the two major jobs. That's one is called map and another is called the reduce. So upon receiving the files from HDFS, the data has to be it has to be sorted. It has to be put on for the different operations. Like one of the major is shuffle. Shuffle is it's a middle part. It's a middle level operations between map and reduce. So why this term map and reduce came for? Because map reduce is it's a framework which is responsible for performing these two major operations. That's for mapping on the data and the reducing on the data, the computation. So suppose there's an example has been coined in this slide. Like if you're working, suppose a word count, it's a huge file that you have been provided. Now it contains several sentences like hi, how are you, hello, how are you. These types of sentences are there. Now you have been assigned to the task, like how do you perform the assignment of the words on this? How do you make a computations of the words? Like how many times each and every words are present in this file? So you have to be being very sure that what is the occurrence of each and every words in this file. So for the first level of mapping operations, you are getting like hi, how are you? For this line, you are getting R is being presented 1, hi for 1, this word, how for once, and you for once. So this is the first level of operations that's called mapping. The second level between map and reduce phase, there is a brief operation is there that's called shuffle, which is put out all the mapping data from all the phases, from all the nodes into the middle level phase. So shuffle is not a major phase, but it's an intermediate phase. And then we are putting out the final results into the reduce phase, where we are getting the final data sets counts. So here, as for this example, as you can see in the reduce phase, we are getting the final level output of the data. So from the map to shuffle to reduce. So from map, as you can see, we are getting all the words count that's having 1 in 2 different sentences. In shuffle, we are getting a mapping between all these words, like from R from one cluster and R in another cluster. So both are present in ones. So in shuffle, we are getting R as 1, 1. That means R is present twice in one first map in one cluster and in another cluster. So in the reduce phase, we are mapping and we are coordinating all of this, and we are giving the final output that R is total present as twice. Similarly for hello, that's all the words that we are getting. So it's a brief the functional operations on a map reduce on a sample word count file. So how exactly the data flows are happening in MapReduce? So we are working in persistent data in MapReduce. So user jobs that are broken into the map task and reduce task. So data is basically here in MapReduce are sequence of keys and the values. So a map task, which involves the mapper. Mapper is a function in Hadoop. So we will talk about in detail. Well, that's on this mapper class. We are basically we are breaking the data into input and output. So input is in terms of key 1 and value 1 as a key value pair, and in output we are getting the key 2 and value 2 as a pair as well. So this key value pairs exactly that forms out the components that we should work. Similarly for reducer, the reduce task, it invokes a reducer, and it called once per a key in a sorted order. So for reducer as well, we are having input as key 2 as a stream of value 2 that we are mapping, and for output we are getting the final output. So as we can see here, the chart and the data flow that's being happening, the data are coming first into the maps. That's according to the map keys values. Then from maps we are coming to the transient data moves into the shuffle. That's the intermediate phase that's I talked. So here all the word counts or any the counting that's to be happen on the data, and finally they are move out to the reduce phase. That's reduce 0, reduce 1 up to n numbers of reduce clusters, and finally we are getting the persistent data on our clusters. So by the MapReduce data flow. So this is again a brief on overall MapReduce word count process. That's how it's been happening. First of all, we are getting the input of the data in a huge data file. Then we are putting the data, we are splitting it in a separate process. Then we are performing the mapping on this, the data count, each and every words that's being counted. And then we are putting onto the shuffling, that making a shuffling of these data. That's how being happening. And finally, we are going into the reduce phase, that to be exactly to count the total numbers of words that's to be present in all over the data. And then we are putting into the final results. That's how it's to be the data has to be counted and the data has to be processed up. So it's going to be an overall MapReduce word count process architecture flow. It's to be happened. Some architecture details, like as we talked, like MapReduce also works in master-slave architecture mode. So the MapReduce master, which is called the job tracker. So job tracker is responsible for accepting all the MR jobs, the MapReduce jobs, which is submitted by users. It's responsible for assigning the map and reduce task to task tracker, which is the worker node. And it also is it assigns the task and to the task tracker nodes and checks the status, monitors the status, and re-executes task upon failure. So it's a master for the MapReduce job processing. The worker node is called the task tracker. So task tracker runs the map and reduce task upon instruction from job tracker. So as the job tracker assigns or instructs any of the particular jobs that's to be performed, so task tracker basically picks up the task from job tracker and it just performs the map and reduce task on this. Task tracker also responsible for managing the storage and transmissions of the intermediate output. And generic reusable framework that's supporting this user code like pluggable file system, it works like DFS, distributed file system, Amazon S3, it works. It also works in for pluggable input-output formats. And many more different platforms, it works in different ways. So the major architectures for MapReduce, it's again for it works in master-slave mode, and it basically constitutes of job tracker and task tracker. Okay, so this is, we are almost at the end of the session. Now it's time to discuss a few statistics on Hadoop. That's how today is Hadoop trends to be performed. It's in all over the world, and what are the major distributions of Hadoop in US and all over the world. So as we can see here, that in US almost 64% the Hadoop major growth has been happened already. 3% in UK, and in India almost 10% Hadoop growth is being it's been predicted, and it's been trending. In China, whereas 4% and rest of 20% in other countries. But in US is a pioneer in Hadoop sector, and according to Gartner prediction, in almost in 2015 to 2020, there will be again 64 million jobs would be in Hadoop and big data. City-wise distribution, if we see here, like in top 10 geographic areas, like in San Francisco Bay areas, there would be almost more than 2,500. New York City, that would be also more than 500. Same for Seattle, Los Angeles, Washington DC, like this. If we check about top 10 US-based companies who are working for Hadoop, like Yahoo, as we talked, is a major pioneer. They're almost first class companies for Hadoop. LinkedIn, then eBay, Microsoft, yes, they have come up with their solution on Hadoop as well with HD Insight. Google, IBM, Amazon, Apache, Cloudera. We all know us about Cloudera's Hadoop distribution platform, and so on. We have there Nokia, Apple, Oracle, HP. So this is quite a few statistics and prediction that we can talk that for next coming years for Hadoop platform about the future and the trending, and also would like to discuss about more on the industry that are blooming right now with the big data. So big data is right now within every platform, like in healthcare, in finance, in manufacturing, and in retail. Of course, the retail industry is blooming with Hadoop because we are getting a lot of data from retail, like weblog, clickstream, sensor. We will talk more about this in our class as well. Similarly, Hadoop is also right now, it's coming with our incoming topic, that's IoT, Internet of Things. So a few more future is to be predicted on IoT. It's been coming as well. So yes, so it's the last slide for our today's presentation. So it's almost like this slide is as well, also for just to our evaluation purpose, to check about the main reason for using Hadoop, why you should talk about Hadoop. Yes, so for mining data for business intelligence, yes, for 19%. For reduced cost on data analysis, yes, because cost is a major challenge that we always take and we always face in our enterprise. So for economical growth and for the costing is a major thing that for always as a data analyst or for data mining, analyzing. So any terms we are faced. Log analysis for ETL, for scientific research, for computational purpose. Hadoop is the solution on this. And this is a trending graph that has been met. Yes, it was predicted from January 2007 to 2011, but yes, this graph is still moving on and growing on up to 2020 and for next 50 years. Okay, so now we have reached almost to the end of the session. So now it's your turn to present all the questions. So let me know if you have any questions.
Anindita, Satish here. Let's go ahead with one by one. We'll go ahead with Anish first. So Anish, if you have any questions, please talk to Anindita. So I just unmuted your mic.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, Anindita, thank you for walking us through Hadoop. So one thing I wanted to know is like what's your structure of the class and the training? How many sessions you plan? How many classes? What is going to be the weekly schedule? The timing of the class should we decide to continue? And what kind of background do you think you expect us to have? I am not like a serious programmer or coder, but more working as a data scientist or an analytics person. So what do you expect from your students taking the class for this particular session?
Yeah. So for this particular session, so first let me talk about the structure of the class that we have. Let me go through. So we have basically, first of all, the classes in the mode. We have an Hadoop fundamental course that's for 20 hours, which is just helpful to get the basic rights. So where we just talk about more about big data, more about Hadoop, the functionality, a few more on the things that today we just covered. Above from basics, Hadoop ecosystem, Hadoop hands-on classes would be there. We have a few more, a lot of hands-on sessions would be there. Multi-node cluster setup that you guys also can set up the Hadoop clusters on hands-on. And at the end of the course, we have one mini project and one evolution test that sends criteria for the certification. So it's for 20 hours. It's on Hadoop fundamentals. All of the basics of Hadoop core fundamentals that would be covered over there. Include this, we have another course that's in Hadoop development. That's 16 hours. That's to the objective of the course is to become a pro developer, where we would talk about more on advanced MapReduce. Then the hands-on would be also covered on advanced MapReduce programs, design patterns on MapReduce, and it would also cover with an evolution test. But it's for a pro developer for Hadoop. So it would cover up all the major and the advanced functionality on Hadoop and MapReduce platform. And the third part is the Hadoop BI. So it's for basically for the developers who wants to explore more on the BI side on Hadoop. Like we have the course like Pig and Hive to be more specific, more focused on this part with the data analysis. So we have the Pig, Hive. We are covering their data analysis using some ETL tools. And also we have been cover up obviously MapReduce, RDBMS, Hive to RDBMS functionality and all the major hands-on parts over there. So almost the course is for 49 hours, and it would cover up, the developer course would cover up from the basics to till advanced of Hadoop development, and it would include as well the hands-on sessions. Almost with all the components that you can set up the cluster, Hadoop clusters first, and then you can play on with each and every components. And another class that we have for this course that's on Hadoop administration. The prerequisite for these two programs, for development and for administration, let me tell you. For development, it's to be good. Like if you are familiar with object-oriented programming or specifically with Java, that's very good. If you are not familiar with Java, then we have a course that's oriented Hadoop core programs course that oriented with core Java, because Java we are not specific to J2E or advanced Java programming. A few specific core Java skill set are fulfilled the Hadoop programming course. And for administration level, that's for administration programming on Hadoop. It's to be good if you have basic Unix skill set and administration knowledge. So I hope that answers your question, Anish.
Like if like everybody is taking all these 4 different classes, or it is based on what the requirement is, people take part of this course? I didn't understand, is it just one entire 49-hour course, or you're basically saying that there are 4 different courses and based on what role you are targeting you would be taking those courses?
Okay. So I hope Satish should be better to answer this. Satish, could you please help on answering?
I'll do that.
Anish's
Hey,
questions
Anish,
now?
basically what happened means, as per the market trend, we created this separate course which includes all the Hadoop concepts and administration, development, and BI. So we are covering almost all the topics into Hadoop side. So all our detailed courses. So we don't have any separate course for administration or BI, something like that. We cover everything in a single course. So you can, if you want to become a developer, and you can more concentrate on development side. So if it is better if you know all the topics into Hadoop side to clarify the certification part. Or in interview questions also, sometimes they'll ask some basic questions on administration side or some basic questions on BI side as well. So to get a complete knowledge on the all concepts on Hadoop, we customized this content, Anish. If you are more interested into development side, you can attend development side and you can skip from other topics as well. That's completely based on your interest.
No, I'm basically completely newbie to Hadoop, so
that's what.
the more I learn, the better it is. But I just
as per my knowledge, Anish, it's better to attend a complete training, complete classes.
Okay.
So it goes for 45 to 50 hours duration. So it's better to go ahead with all the concepts, Anish. It's better for you.
Right. So these 50 hours means like you're doing 2 hours per session.
I'll let you know the complete schedule, Anish. It will be 90-minute session every day, and I'll send you the complete schedule, what will be the timings and when we are going to start the regular sessions. I'll send you the complete schedule soon. Okay, just give me some time. After the session, I'll send you the schedule.
Okay, no problem.
Any other technical questions, you can talk to Anindita. Yeah.
Okay, I think that that answers my question.
Fine.
So I'll leave to the other team members to ask questions.
Fine. We'll go with Lakshman. Lakshman, do you have any questions?
I think my questions are answered by questions that have been taken care by the previous person.
Oh, okay, great.
So I have the same thing because I'm just basically from healthcare, and I have a experience on EDI, but I'm not full familiar with Java, but I have an idea on the Java. So I just want to know Java oriented, or it is like some other technologies are needed for this one. So I think it is answered by Anandita already.
Oh, okay, great. So we'll go with Premnath Rangishetty. Premnath, do you have any questions?
Yeah. No, pretty much everything is covered by the previous guys. I'm just clear about all these things. That's it. Everything is good and fine, and the lecture is pretty good.
Thank you.
Everything is much clear. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Premnath. What about Rajshekhar? Do you have any questions, Rajshekar?
Yes, Satish. I have a question is that actually I'm in a dilemma to whether to go to the Hadoop administration side or the Hadoop development side. But if you want to go for an administration side, like if suppose if you say database administrator, you'll have a lot of things like performance tuning and everything, so query optimization. So if you become a Hadoop administrator, how do you overcome all these like with performance tuning and everything also?
Hey, Anindita, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you please check with Rajshekar? I think it's a technical question. Can you please talk to Rajshekar?
Yeah. So, Rajshekar, please clarify once more your question. So, what you exactly want to know?
My question is that if you want to be a Hadoop administrator, like something like a database administrator, right? So if you're in a position of a database administrator, you'll have like a performance tuning, query optimization, any responsibilities will be there. So how will you overcome all these if you are an Hadoop administrator? So because as a layman, I don't have any knowledge on performance tuning or query optimization and everything. So how will you overcome that?
Yeah. So for Hadoop administrations, we will work almost only in Hadoop. So as you talk about, like if you are a DB administrator, so you have to know performance tuning, database tuning, all the stuffs. So we have a course on the Hadoop administration as well. Let me go through this, what we are covering in Hadoop administration part. Let me go through this. So basically, if you have a bit on Unix knowledge, Unix command, and Unix, a prerequisite should be your basically the good skill set on Unix or Linux skill set. So that would be good enough to work on Hadoop administration, because here you will mostly work on hands-on side on HDFS, pig, MapReduce, a bit on Zookeeper, server configurations. So all those things that in Hadoop administrations you have to do, you have to go and configure the Hadoop components on Linux clusters or Unix clusters. So for that, your prerequisite would be only to have a sound knowledge on Unix or Linux.
Sound knowledge in the sense, if you have a basic level knowledge, that's fine. Or
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's good.
So everything is covered in this course, even the administration part.
In Hadoop administration, that's everything is to be covered.
Thank you. That's it.
Any questions from Sai Charan? Hey, Sai Charan, can...
No, I'm pretty much good. Like everything is covered by my who talked earlier. So I got clarified something. So I don't have any questions further.
Okay, that's fine. What about Sam? Sam, do you have any?
I have JP on the call. So JP, do you have any questions?
Oh, is it? Okay, JP, I think he left from the meeting, Sam.
Oh, is he? You didn't...
Yeah.
Alright. So he joined the call. I was there initially.
Right. Okay. What about Sri Lekha? Sri Lekha, do you have any questions? Okay, Sam, we'll have a discussion after the session, Sam. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. What about
any questions from the audience, from the participants about? Usually, what we get is what is the rate, the salary part? Which one is better, Hadoop admin or Hadoop developer or architect? I'm surprised nobody asked in this batch.
yeah, of course. Anindita, yeah.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, please go. Please go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah. I just want to know, after this presentation and all these, the following PPT, you giving me material on like mailing me or like that, or we need to just note it down while class going on?
We'll provide a material, Premnath. Don't worry. We'll provide a material and we'll provide everything. Okay, don't worry.
Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Vijay?
I'm good, Satish.
Oh, okay, great. So if any other questions, please talk to Anindita. Rajshekar, I think he's having another question. Rajshekar, please go ahead.
And actually you have mentioned like Hadoop BI, right? So like on top of the Hadoop, you can use any BI tools like MS BI tools or OBI tools, or is there any special tools?
Rajshekhar, there are multiple tools in industry right now which are being used as Hadoop BI tools. Like we have the Jaspersoft. Actually, different companies. I mean, Hadoop platform wise, we choose the BI tools. Like if I give an example.
Can we use MS BI or OBI tools or?
MSBI actually not exactly MSBI. For Microsoft platform we use Power BI.
Okay.
That's you must heard of this term, Power BI. That's comprised of Excel, Power Query, Power Map, Power Q&A for Office 365. But it's good if we are using Hadoop on Microsoft platform like Azure HD Insight or Microsoft HD Insight, and also it works with other Hadoop platforms as well. Like if you must heard of Hortonworks name.
Yeah,
Hortonworks
HDP.
yeah.
If you take this course, can we complete a Hortonworks certification or a Cloudera certification? Do you think we can easily get it?
Yeah, definitely. You can. You would be eligible for going for certification of Hortonworks or Cloudera after completing this course. Definitely, because I would definitely cover a few sites on Hortonworks as well. Because obviously both the platforms are quite similar, Cloudera and Hortonworks, but still there is being some few differences between these two platforms. Hadoop distribution. Hortonworks is more towards Windows. I mean, they are having already partnership in Microsoft, so they are mostly covering all of the sites on Windows side mostly, and they're having leverages each and every day a few more possibility with Microsoft. So yes, I would cover a lot on Hortonworks side as well on HTTP.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, that's fine. So Sam, I think you have one question, right? Can you speak to Anindita now regarding that?
No, I was asking in behalf of all the trainees. So usually people ask, what is the salary for Hadoop admin and what is the data position is better?
Okay. Anindita, do you have any idea on that as per US market?
Not exactly US market, Satish, but I could say about Indian market where Hadoop, it's pretty new, but yes, it's very demanding.
Okay.
So we'll have to talk about US market, then I could say in the next class
okay.
I could make a research on this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we'll do that, Sam. That's fine. So thanks for attending the session, guys. So I'll let you know the complete schedule soon about the timings and also the start date and other details like what will be includes in this course, like materials or any other information. I'll send you through email. So thanks for joining the class and thanks for your demo, Anindita. See you soon in the class.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. Take care. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anindita. Thank you.
Thanks.